The third rite, it's called the Guru's mantra or the yes and no. We'll stick with yes and no for now. You see, what has to be understood is, human beings have been looking for their inner power for a long time. In the ancient times, the yogis, the siddhis, the siddhas discovered much about themselves. They discovered incredible inner abilities. But these inner abilities are discovered when one begins to understand the power of yes and no. In the ancient time, a mantra is a yes and a no simultaneously. You are saying yes to light and no to darkness, so to say. You are saying yes to rightness and no to unrighteousness. So the third rite is the capacity to evoke your ability to say yes and no. Contemplate and see how many of you are really living your yes and living your no. No is what you're not allowing in your life, what you don't want, part of you. And what is yes, what you're gravitating towards. Many times we fail to say yes to being loved, yes to being happy. We fail to say no to live a loveless life. We fail to say no to live a life in misery. Many times the way it's advertised, as though misery is part of life. The condition of life is part of life. It's like poverty. That is not the condition of life. But we fail to say no to poverty, and we fail to say yes to living in relative abundance. Now the question I'm asking, are you living out your yes and no as you breathe with me today? Just using this faculty of breathing so you can stay with you, you are asking the question, how deeply are you living the yes and no? They found, it's a joke, the secret mantra to a happy married life, after much research, they found out. It is, yes, dear. It is still a yes. Whatever your wife says, yes. There's a rule for happy life. Happy married life, anyway. Today I'm asking you, how deeply are you living your yes and no? Do you remember that you have this power of yes and no? Not just to the world, to yourself. What do you say yes to yourself, and what do you say no to yourself? In India, they say they have built over 108,000 major temples, big temples. And if you really look into it, one of the things that comes out clear is the yes they have said using their temples. They say yes to divinity. They say yes to something more. They said yes to enlightenment. To me, it's a symbol of yes and no to a life lived in waste. This was the ancient way. But now, in modern time, I'm asking, what is the yes and no you are living out? Like today, if you start the day, what is the yes you are living out? And what is the no you are upholding? The yes could be, I will live a complete day. All my energy would be spent participating in my life. And no to wasting it. Now as you breathe with me, see within yourself the yes and no you need to embody right now. As you and I breathe together, see what is the yes and what is the no that awaits you. It's one of the most powerful things. You see, this is the third rite. We first started by not being affected, holding ourselves not to be affected. Next, we created the capacity to stay with what is. Now the third, the capacity to exercise my choice, my yes and my no. Just these three rites holds you in a way something more can come into being. you will see a subtle shift within you. You will see that you are becoming more awake to you. You will start seeing that you are actually being pregnated to what can be, and a deep excitement of living will come. It is tragic that almost all of us have been conditioned out of these rites. The way this world is living, it is reducing everything to nothing but survival, procreation, and indulgence at most. Every other thing that is more in life that life can be more has been kind of disproven. It's strange that human beings are saying that life is rather meaningless. And it will become meaningless if you miss your yes and no. Now today, as you breathe together the third rite, see the yes and the no that you are choosing to live out right now as you sit and breathe together with me. Give it a go.